Hey guys, bringing you the Dino tier list that you guys have all requested. Just a heads up, this is going to be specifically aimed for solo players. Any dino is good whenever you're in a large group, but this is going to be for the best possible experience if you're playing by yourself. Alright, so the first dino that we're going to go over is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. A lot of people believe that the T-Rex is overpowered and everything, but if you're playing by yourself, there's a lot of different things that can actually take you down. So if you want to play as a T-Rex, I'm going to grade that a B. The biggest issue that playing as the T-Rex will cause for you is the stamina, and everybody wants to take down the T-Rex, so it's going to bring a lot of attention to you. Alright, the next dino is going to be the Kai, and Kai, I'm going to make that an F column. You have to stay in the water, and unless you go into a hot spot, you're not going to see anything. And as of right now, the quests for the ocean areas aren't that good. Alright, the next dinosaur is going to be the Megalania. This dino is pretty fun to play as. If you're in an area that has water, then you can always escape to it once you get the back legs ability, I believe it is. And so for the Meg, I'm gonna give that an A. I would not recommend playing as a Megalania anywhere that you do not have an escape, such as water. Alright, the next two dinos are the Pycno and the Packy. Both of these dinos have the knockback ability. It's fun, especially if you're in a larger group, but in terms of being able to take stuff down, I'm going to give the Pycno a D, and the Packy, I'm going to make that an E. Alright, the next dino is the Murder Duck, at least that's what we call it in-game, and it is a semi-aquatic, which makes it have escapes on both land and water, obviously. You can fight Sarcos somewhat, you can fight Spinos, you can fight Rexes, and you can fight just about anything else, and it has a good stamina pool, so I'm going to go ahead and give that an A. The next dino is the Anno, and the Anno, no matter what subspecies you pick and how you really play it, everything will either immediately try and run from you, or if it's a large group, they will come try to kill you. So if you're looking for action, the Anno can actually be very fun. I'm going to go ahead and give that an A as well. The next dino is the Iguanodon. It has a charge ability right now that does not deal damage, but its thumb attack and tail attack are pretty effective. You can fight anything from an aloe and down, but you're going to want to avoid Rexes or Ducks or anything larger than that. So other than the charge ability that's bugged out right now, I would play an Iguanodon. The next dino is the Margosaurus. This dino can be fun if you go onto a community server and you don't actually have to grow it, but it can fight aloes and stuff, but it's really not effective. Like, you can fight aloes because of the bleed that it'll put on, but eventually you're going to get overwhelmed and a lot of larger stuff can catch you. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the D category. The next dino is the Thau. If you're looking for combat, I would not recommend playing this. It is good to run trophies, or if you just want to scout an area out, or if you're just looking to spectate people, but it has the same damage as one of the miniature raptors. The next dino is the Alberta, which is one of my favorite dinos. It has good stamina, good damage, and a good amount of health. You can fight literally anything with it, as long as there's a skill gap. I mean, a Rex will obviously kill you, especially if they're good or if you play the Alberta incorrectly. But the Alberta overall, that is an S-class dino if you're a solo player. The next dino is the Alio. It has the Tyrant Roar buff. It can deal some pretty decent damage, and it's really good for escapes. So I'm going to go ahead and give that an S-class. You're not going to be able to fight a lot of the larger stuff unless you can catch it laying down, but you're going to be able to escape a lot of stuff. The next dino is going to be the Barsboldia. It is a moving tank. It has the most health of all the dinos in official servers. It can be fun, but again, everybody's going to target you to try and get that trophy, and it's not too hard to overwhelm it, especially if there's 2 Rexes, or if there's Anos. A lot of things can overwhelm it. So we're going to go ahead and put the bars in the C category. The next dino is going to be the Sarah. This is a great support dino. It can bone break and deal some decent damage, but a lot of the other tiers are going to be able to take out the Sarah in a 1v1 9 times out of 10. So the Sarah, it's good for utility, especially if you're playing in a group of friends, but as a solo, you're not going to want to play this really. So I'm going to go ahead and give this is a D. Next dino is the Concavenator. It has great speed, it has a bleed, it can go into the water and on land, and it has a decent bite attack, and it weighs a good bit. So it can fight a lot of different things. You can see in one of my other videos I fought a Rex and a Spino, but they didn't have tail attack equipped. So for the Concavenator, as a solo player, I really enjoy it. I think you guys will enjoy it. That's going to be an S class. So the next 3 dinos are going to be all of the smaller raptors. They can be fun if you have a large group of like 10 of these. You can hunt a lot of larger stuff, but as a solo player, you're mostly going to be spectating unless you can catch dinos laying down. So I'm going to go ahead and put all 3 of these in the F category, assuming that you are wanting combat. If you want to fight things, I would not recommend those 3. But if you're just looking to spectate, then they do have good speed and they can hide very easily, so then consider them. The next dino, I believe this picture is the Dasp. It's a little hard to tell which one it is, if I'm being honest, but the Dasp can be fun. It has a good bone break, but it will lose to an Aloe if you are both face tanking. So you gotta be careful with how you play it. You really gotta work on positioning, and unfortunately its stamina pool is not the largest. So especially as a newer player, I would not recommend the Dasp. It's a good support for your team, but as a solo, I'm gonna give that an E. The next dino is the Eotrike, and this dino, while it doesn't have much stamina, it does deal a lot of damage, and you can almost fight a Rex. It used to be before that the Triceratops would annihilate, or the Eotrike, sorry, would annihilate the T-Rexes, but after the last combat update, the Eotrike has been nerfed, so I'm going to go ahead and put the Eotrike in the same category as the Rex and the Iguanodon, because you will be able to have some fun with it, but a lot of things are going to be able to escape you, and then the things that can escape you, they might get the better of you. The next dino is the Kentro. It has great speed, it has armor that you unlock as an adult, I believe. I don't think you get it as sub-adult, but it stacks a lot of bleed, it's quick. I would highly recommend making one, and if you're going to make one, make it a speed. That's my recommendation. This dino, ton of fun. You will enjoy it as a solo player. S class. The next dino is the Lambio. The Lambio has a healing ability that will heal everybody in your party or yourself as long as you don't have a bleed on. And it deals decent damage and has a pretty decent stamina pool. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Lambio an A class. You will be able to escape Rexes, but the Megalanias or the Metries, if they drain your stamina, then eventually everything will catch up. But assuming that you're playing solo and you're avoiding the hotspots, then you should have a good time with the Lambia. The next dino that we're going to do is the Sarco. The Sarco is a ton of fun to play, especially on Gondwa. It's less useful on Pandura, but the Sarco overall, you will have a lot of fun with scaring people and everything else. So I'm going to give that That's going to be an A class. The next dino is going to be the Spinosaurus. This dino, similar to the Rex, low stamina, and it's really bound to water. Unfortunately, Sarcos will beat you most of the time unless you get really good with it, but it's still fun to play as. I'm going to give that a B class as a solo player. Alright, we have the Stegosaurus next. A Stego, it again, just like the Kentro, has an armor add-on to it. Once you get it to adult, once you add that on, it will be able to fight the majority of things, and you can escape most things. It does a lot of bleed damage. Overall, pretty fun. I'm going to give the Stego an A class. Coming up next, we have the Styra. The Styra has good stam, does a lot of bleed, has a charge ability. It is the main enemy to Megalanias and Metries and Conks all across Gondola. They typically run if they see you coming. So the Styra, because of its mobility and damage, is going to get an S class. The next dino is the Suco. The Suco is a semi-amphibious dino that is basically, think of it as the Allosaurus of the water. It'll be an Allo in a 1v1 on land, and it can also swim around and do damage to Sarcos and ducks and whatever else you want to fight with. And then you can escape on land by outrunning. So with the Suco, I'm going to go ahead and make that an A class as well. The next dino is going to be the Campto, and the Campto, like the other rappers of the Thou and the Kai, you're not going to be able to take a lot of things down. You can kind of troll with it, you can try and fight Rexes and everything, but overall, unless you catch something laying down, you're not going to be able to fight much. So that's going to be an F class as a new player playing solo. The next dino is the Metri, and the Metri drains the opponent's stamina. You can have so much fun if you have 3 of these in a party. So if you and 2 friends group up and you guys are playing as Metris, you're going to be able to take a lot of things down, even things that are bigger, such as an Allo or a Suco, as long as it's not near water. So with the Metri speed, and it does decent damage, so you can disengage, go heal, come back. I'm going to go ahead and give the Metri an S class as a solo dino. And last but not least, we have the Allosaur. It is my favorite dinosaur, but unfortunately, it gets outmaneuvered, and it's pound for pound just not the greatest fighter. If you get this dino in a group, you will enjoy it a lot. As a solo player, it's hit or miss. A lot of things such as the Alberta or the Sty or the Kentro or the Conks are going to be able to get the best of you because of their movement in relationship to yours. But this dino is still fun, sounds cool, all the different calls on it, and just the model of it I love. So the Allo, I'm going to make that a B class. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the solo player tier guide. Please let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see a tier maker for duos or for squads. If you guys want to play in the 10 dino slot capacity, I really enjoy thinking up ideas of how to make up the teams and everything. So let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to support me. Have a good day, guys. Later.